is the only thing that'll keep you sane. And this world is crying more and more every day. Don't let evil get you down in this madness spinning round and round. I want you to live forever underneath the sky so blue.
The world is a hurting place, and the world needs hope, and the world needs love. My parents always taught me that even though we don't know why I was born this way, that we have a choice. Either to be angry for what we don't have, or be thankful for what we do have.
I'm here in Slovenia. I am so amazed. The trains here are so fast. Did you see that one? See, that's what I'm saying, it's so fast.
I was overcome with emotion. Watching a young man at 24 years of age being born without arms or legs, how he overcame insurmountable obstacles to live a life of complete joy. He lives in a body without limbs, and yet he's extremely happy.
He had like the hardest life that we cannot even imagine, and our problems seem like nothing compared to his problems.
I just think it's really encouraging for people to see a man who is limited by his body when they have full capability.
Nick's coming to Slovenia would mean for us trying to expose his message to the widest number of Slovenes.
Nick Vujicic is a good example for our country, for our people.
I was amazed for him coming here.
We looked long term at what's going to really change this country. We think the message of the gospel that Nick brought is one that changes lives.
His relationship with God, which was the source of his power to overcome, and the help that God has provided for him throughout his life, is the message that we wanted to bring also to our country.
And I really love his strength, and the way that he actually put that in front of the people is just amazing.
Slovenia has the 14th smallest evangelical population in the world.
It's hard to be a Christian because people don't like churches around here. They don't like God.
One of the things that Nick could do really well is he could open the door to the conversation.
Just about everybody's heard of Nick.
Last year, there was over 18,000 people that heard the gospel in my country. And I think that was one of the largest crowds in the last couple of centuries.
Nick has a Serbian background, and so he's kind of what Slovenes would say domaći. He's kind of a homeboy.
He's a Serbian guy, he's our brother.
It's not just another foreigner. He's connected to the country.
I knew that he was a man who was acquainted with pain, acquainted with obstacles that seemed almost unbearable.
I couldn't see hope because I had fear of what my life is going to look like.
I think a lot of people need motivation, And a lot of people are in despair and financial crisis and have difficulties in their lives.
For many, many years, we were an isolated country. We had a couple civil wars. People lost hope.
I really think that he is going to be a big inspiration for all other people that doesn't have hope.
And it was something that was definitely historical for the church because of how many people listened to Nick's message and received seeds of life in their hearts that we as the church will be reaping for years to come.
Most of the tickets for our events were sold within 24 hours to 48 hours before the event itself. There was really a firestorm of interest in Nick.
I was so excited I actually ditched school to come here today.
We raised about around $40,000, and all money we gave about to the 14 or 15 humanitarian organizations working with the children and with the people with disabilities.
There was incredible media involvement, and people were just sharing, Facebook links and emails, and you gotta go see this guy.
14,960 people that had bought tickets.
I actually involved a lot of people, and I was telling them through Facebook and other kind of networks that he's coming here. It was like awesome.
By my knowledge, about 80% of Croatian people heard about Nick's visit and his message.
I wish my grandparents were here, man. Be so proud.
They are here, bro.
They'd be so proud. They'll be so proud.
Okay. It's so beautiful to be here in Sydney for the second time.
It's honest to meet you and shake your hand.
I want to tell you tonight my story.
He just also does practical jokes. He's not just like a stern person. He likes to joke around and stuff, which I think is really cool.
This kid came up to me and he said, "What happened?" I said, "Cigarettes." And he's never going to smoke.
It's all this way. And it was very difficult to believe that I could have a good life.
My mum, who was a nurse when she gave birth to me, they had ultrasounds done, but they never checked to make sure that I had arms and legs. I'm not going to get a job. I'm not going to get married.
Can't even hold your wife's hand. What kind of a father are you going to be if you can't even pick up your kids when they're crying?
How can I provide if I can't even look after myself?
You're not good enough.
Nisi dovoljno dobar.
Nick, you look weird.
Nick, čudno izgledaš.
Nick, just give up.
When I was 8 years old,
Kada mi bilo 8 godina,
I told my mum that I was going to commit suicide.
And at age 10, I tried to drown myself in 15 centimeters of water. Why?
Zakaj?
Because of bullying.
Tega, ker so me v šoli zafrkavali.
The second,
in drugič,
being a burden to my parents.
Ker sem se počutil kot breme svojim staršem.
And thirdly,
in tretjič,
having nothing to look forward to.
I prayed for arms and legs.
Molio sem se da dobijem ruke I noge.
Because if I had arms and legs, then I'd be happy, right?
The only thing that stopped me from committing suicide was the love of my parents.
My faith in God is the reason why I've actually found that strength and that joy. The fear of being alone is worse than having no limbs.
You asked 2 questions at the school. How many of them thought of committing suicide?
Do you trust me? Would you want that in here? Just one hand.
85%. 85. So high.
Ask you one more question. Put your hand in the fist if you've actually tried to commit suicide. Open up your hand. Okay.
Why do you think that it's so high here compared to what you see normally?
Because of depression and no opportunities of understanding. Up to 95% of the next generation I've seen say that they've actually thought of giving up, and up to 15% had tried.
You do not know what can come from your broken pieces until you give God your broken pieces.
We felt that Nick was an evangelist not for a church, not for a denomination, but we recognize that there was a calling on his life that he's an evangelist for the church.
I have never in my entire life seen this kind of openness in the country.
Nick's coming here just open, I don't know, open everybody's eyes.
I saw many people in Sabbath Center crying, who thinking about life.
And it was our desire that we would work together to be able to present God's message through Nick to our nation, and the results have been incredible.
Everybody's different. But what we do want to push for is more and more integration and awareness here in this nation. Who do we praise? I want you to know that He loved me to give me His Son.
This gave them new confidence, new vision. It gave them new boldness to share Christ.
There's a positive association with the gospel because there's a respect for a man without arms and legs who loves life more than them.
If you haven't found something worth dying for, you haven't found something worth living for.
Nick says that our obstacles are not outside of us, but they're inside of us. When he realized that arms and legs wouldn't guarantee him a happy life, that to find happiness he would need to look for it somewhere else. And he found it in reconciliation and in a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Who you are is who you are, and there is not another you, there is not another me, and it's okay for me not to be like somebody else, because I am who I am and you are who you are.
Yes.
It looks impossible for a man without arms and legs to get back up.
Now what do we do? I will know the truth of my value.
Potem bom poznal resnico o svoji lastni vrednosti.
What does that mean?
Don't give up.
Premaknili naprej kot narod.
In our life,
but God heals the soul.
you can do it.
You have arms and legs.
Imate ruke i noge.
And you're not happy every day.
I niste sretni svaki dan.
And we think there are things that if we just were different, then everything would be fine for the rest of our life.
Do your best.
Činite najbolje.
Move forward.
Krenite dalje.
Take one day at a time.
The truth of knowing who you are and why you're here. William Barclay, he said, the greatest 2 days in anyone's life. The day you were born and the day you knew why.
Radi ono najbolje što možeš.
Take one day at a time.
Jedan dan po dan.
Dream big.
Sanjaj na veliko.
And never give up.
People come up and hug me sometimes and say, thank you, really changed my life. You changed my perspective. And that's, that very much inspires me, motivates me.
I think it's very encouraging for people to see who he is and what he does despite his disabilities.
God has a plan for Nick, then God has a plan for me.
I don't know anybody right now on this planet who is better equipped, particularly in this region of the world, with a capacity, with a mantle, to be able to bring God's message to such a wide group of people.
We had a few meetings with a few important people who are national figures in our country who received Nick and who endorse Nick's events.
Hvala, Bog mi. Dobro nam došao.
Ivan.
Ivana.
Very good.
He's not saying, go on, back.
But thank you so much for everything.
No, thank you.
Your video really made all the difference.
Because you never had an appearance in Serbia before, obviously, so we tried in any way to, to get the people to come and watch you and listen to you because you have such an inspirational story.
When you saw Nick, when you saw his life, his example, we must change our perspective of our life. We must trust each other. We must love each other.
I'm gonna do something that you're You're gonna think why. I know the 4 people I want to hug. You. Yes, I want to hug you. Up the back. About.
Did you notice something in the crowd, or you knew that prior?
Yeah. No. I noticed in the crowd.
Put your hand up if you've got the Nike. That's you and your.
They were sort of like very subtly teasing what I was saying.
Yeah.
And that's what most troublemakers do. You know, they're always funny. They always want to be the center of attention. So call them out.
I want to give you a big hug. I love you so much.
Yeah, the first kid.
That was amazing. The first guy, and he was the chief, man.
But the fact that he just let it out,
that's changed the school forever. That's the biggest thing that school now is going to remember: love. No matter how bold I was preaching in this public school, and no one is going to say anything negative about it. Not one person. Because the greatest thing that they heard at the end and seeing the power of it is having those people who probably are the biggest troublemakers in the school cry. They've never cried in public, ever. The truth of knowing who you are and why you're here. The greatest 2 days in anyone's life. The day you were born and the day you knew why.